How would you like to make your first million? And today we have Vandana Atara with us. And Vandana is an inner child, a mentor, trauma topper, energy healer, Reiki master. Oh, I love Reiki. Soul whisperer and a podcaster since 2007. Her greatest joy is to spread inspiring messages, divine guidance, and vibrational support for energy sensitive empath caregivers and people please who have lost their way so they can suffer less. So Vandana, tell us what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yes, I have a list. So are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We are looking forward to it.
The main, yeah, me too. I would say the main thing is to get out of denial that you may be self-sabotaging your own success, your own abundance. And that means that we have to work on our mindset. We have to unlock any subconscious programs or patterns that we adopted from our family that were passed on to us. So there's if you have a lot of fear in your ancestral lineage, that was mostly you received a lot of negative messages, either verbally or subliminally, that you're not enough, and you judge yourself, and you just don't think that you're ever going to make it. Or maybe you were told those stories as a child, or maybe when you went to school. So I think that is the most important thing, is to really get real and honest, about like why haven't I received my first $1 million? Why is my business so so troubled, and things like that. So I think that is number one. Persistence and patience, because I know for me that I get easily discouraged, even though I have thousands of testimonials and everybody loves the work that I do, and they always experience a transformational shift after we meet. And yet still, sometimes when you work for yourself as an entrepreneur, it's inconsistent and unstable. And that's just the nature of working for yourself. So we can't let that get to us or make us give up. So that's my motto: never give up, even when the going gets rough. And I have experienced that many times, but I never somehow gave up, because I know that this is my sole purpose. I know I'm supposed to help people. I know I'm supposed to empower people. But number 3 is we have to feel empowered ourselves. If we want to say that we are here to make a difference in the world and help people get clear on their gifts, their abilities, that they don't even know about, we have to feel that we have to have we have to hold that vibration ourselves. So that would be number 3. Number 4, in practical terms, is having a really good team behind you, and I can't really say that I have the most amazing virtual assistant, or I don't have like all the marketing strategists behind me, or copywriters or whatever, but that does help, because we cannot wear all the hats ourselves, because then we're going to get burnt out as business owners. And that actually have come very close to that happening myself many times. So having a good support team who really understands like what your personal message is and your personal mission is, and can actually take the physical steps to make that happen, to really get you in front of the right audience, to have your subscriber list be people that actually are going to buy from you, actually going to respect you and value your work. So that, to me, is almost everything, because I don't have a marketing background, right? So I depend on other people who are going to be efficient, but also spread my message and get me in front of the right people. And sometimes, no matter how we try, no matter how many ads we take out on Google or Facebook or Instagram, we're still, it's a process, so it's important to have the right people backing us up to support us. I think I have one more, right? I think it's like personal connections, but also like taking a chance, taking a risk, and just putting your work out there in front of new people, in front of a new audience. And also speaking engagements in person, not just online, because I've realized that just being online, it's becoming more and more challenging because everybody's online these days, especially after the pandemic. So I personally would love to get out there more and really establish personal connections, heart connections with people, right? Intimate connections that you can't really, physically offer a Reiki session on Zoom. Although I've worked my way around that too. I've been able to attune people to Reiki and train them as Reiki masters.
Oh, wow.
But of course I can't physically touch them, but I can extend my healing hands and my heart and even my eyes, just to telepathically heal them and so they can receive the transmission online. But in person, it's going to be a different experience, of course. So I try to have a balance of both, online and in person. And also a balance, another thing, which would be number 6, is a balance of work life and personal life. Because if we're
100%.
imbalanced, then we are ungrounded and we're not going to show up as our best, because we're going to be drained and exhausted. So, getting outside, getting some sunshine, hugging a tree, whatever it is, just walking barefoot in nature, all of these things, or just having fun, like singing, dancing, traveling, and not just constantly worried about the next sale. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect and I'm 100% there, but I know that this actually works from other business owners that I've spoken to. And just me in general, whenever I get stressed out about my business, I'll just take a break,
Yeah.
and just to raise my vibration. Yeah.
100% of your success is in your mind. And let's talk about mindset and how the mind. There are people in this podcast that they have done the story, right? That they, out of the 500 millionaires that we interview, they make money, they lose it, make money, lose it, make money, lose it. So clearly, this person doesn't have any problem in an ability to create a product and sell it, but there is a pattern that's showing out. Yeah, making a million, and after it's gone, there is making a million. So, and when you dig down, right, there is something in the childhood, something that happened. Yeah, there is a story of a friend of mine I always share in the podcast that when she was a child, her grandfather was Jewish, right, and she wants like a diamond ring, and she said as a kid to the grandpa, can I have the diamond ring? And the grandpa told to the girl, look, in order to get this ring, you need to have some money. Do you have some? And she said, no, I don't have. And the grandpa said, look, I'm gonna give you a hen, okay, as a present. This hen is gonna lay eggs, and if you manage to sell some eggs, I'll give you a diamond ring. Yeah. And as a kid, she was there with the hen, and she was so excited about this hen, and the hen was laying off eggs. And the girl, this is a personal friend of mine, true story, going out there
Wow.
and selling the eggs in the schools to the teachers, to the friends, and whatever. And she told me, Harry, it was a point that my pillow was full of money. And and guess what happened? One day, her mom find out that she was making so much money. She find out the money, and she make a big deal. She told off the grandparents. She told off. She went to school, make a big scene to the teachers. You should be ashamed buying from a kid. And then she took all the money and put it in the bank. And with the special note that until she doesn't have 18, she cannot access this money. This money, and it was in Nicaragua. It was not in US. So by the time that the girl have 18 years old, the currency was so devaluated that it was just nothing there. And this woman today is an entrepreneur, and again, she had this pattern that make amazing businesses very wealthy, and
Yes.
always something happen that is all gone. and like
Mm,
she
mm-hmm.
creating it, like she has in her mindset based on the childhood
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm gonna do something amazing, but something unexpected is gonna take away from me. So before someone does it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's
Self-sabotage, it's called.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's and things like this in this podcast you
Yeah.
hear a lot. So then you need to realize that hey, you have to work on yourself. For me also as well, you see, all entrepreneurs we have this imposter syndrome, and we have this I'm not good enough. And when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
pricing, I have a big my first business 18 years ago. Today I have pro for $100,000, $250,000, $500,000. But at the beginning of my business, I remember it was a challenge pricing the product, because who am I to charge X amount? You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
so tell us a little bit
That's
more
uh
how
that's not a good question to ask. That's not the right
yeah
question to ask. Who
yeah
am I to charge this
to
kind of
charge.
money? Right.
Yeah, but this is kind of question that someone, because we don't know. Some most of
Right.
us become entrepreneur by accident. We have that gene within ourselves,
Mm.
but we don't know.
Yes.
We don't know. We have this gene that we can do better, right? But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, we can do it ourselves. But then we dive and jump into a space that we don't have any clue what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. No, we don't have mentors. We don't have coaches. We don't have my parents. They are all
Yeah.
they are teachers. There's no entrepreneurs in my family. Only my grandparent, and he died when I was very young. Yeah, and I have a
My
very
grandfather too
have
actually
a
was
little
an
story.
entrepreneur. He was
Yeah.
the only one, but my mother used to have businesses in our basement in our home, right?
Mm-hmm.
She used to sell like hair, wigs and
Mm-hmm.
falls, and then she used to create floral arrangements,
Oh wow.
flowers. And so she was very creative, and she used to invite customers downstairs, and she had like her separate room, where she
Mm-hmm.
was like making sales. So, I mean, I always remember that, and I always have a lot of respect for her. And my grandfather owned like 23 piano and organ stores. So
Oh
I know
wow.
it's in my blood, and I'm sure it's in your DNA as well. But the thing is, if we don't have the recent ancestors, like if they had a bad experience, like, or something happened to them where they lost faith and confidence in their entrepreneurial role, then that's going to get passed on to us because it reshapes the DNA. Trauma reshapes the DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it changes our DNA patterns. But then we also have to go back many generations because it didn't start with us. The problems that we have, it's not ours. It doesn't belong to us. It was just passed down. We inherited from our ancestors. And we can talk about 13 generations ago,
Oh
right? But the
wow.
good news is,
That sounds
yeah, the
far
good
away.
news is that we also have a lot of our ancestral inherited resources, their gifts, their strength, their resilience, and their special abilities to survive and to thrive. So I think that
Mm.
that's important to remember, right? And we
So
can't
how can we work
blame.
on this? Because number one, people have to be aware, right? There is sabotage
Awareness.
awareness.
Yeah.
This happened actually to me. You were talking about before the broadcast how to deal with success. A lot of people talk how to deal with failure. Nobody talk about dealing with success. I have this
Hmm.
personally myself
Yeah.
because in my first business, it was the property one. It was so an amazing point that when I arrived to the office, my team members, my manager told me, Harry, go home. We don't need you here to grow this business. You don't
Mm,
come here.
yeah.
Travel the world, do whatever you want. I will come once a month to tell you, to inform you what I'm doing with the company because they were brilliant, they were amazing, and I developed a leadership in the company. They took ownership of the company, and yes, when I was traveling, the company was doing better than when I was around. They literally
Mm.
managed to have that ownership. However, led me on a corner, sitting at home, all this money is coming. I'm just locked for 3 months in the dark room watching movies. I love movies, yeah. And all think every day thinking, like what's wrong with me? This is wrong. How come all this money is coming and I'm not doing anything? This is wrong.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
working. This is
Yeah.
can be something's gonna happen. This is
Okay.
impossible.
Yep.
Da 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 da.
The
And after 3 months, I
yeah.
opened the door of my house. I opened a restaurant, and I lost a 4 million, 200,000, 4 million pounds, and 2 years of my life.
That's intense. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that sounds devastating, actually. I'm sure that you were devastated and
And then what
traumatized.
happened that, and
It's
then
traumatized.
I lose my girlfriend that I have at the time.
Oh,
It
okay.
was a big disaster. It took a lot of, but
Oh,
when these things happen, then you start to
it's
think.
a wake-up
Say,
call,
yeah, you
right?
say,
It's a
what?
wake-up call.
Am I crazy? What I do this? What's wrong with me? Right? So then you start to realize, number one, I didn't know what I want, but I was sure what I didn't want. Yeah, what type of business I want to be involved, X, Y, and Z. But also give me some clarity
That's
that there is some work
yeah,
that I have to do
yeah.
it myself. That this is not just go there and have a business and make money, because you can people here in this podcast that tell the stories that all they thought that made them happy. It was an entrepreneur here from New Zealand that we interviewed in this podcast, and he said, Harry, when I was 20 years old, very young age, I became a multimillionaire so fast, and then I bought this huge house in New Zealand that we can see all the forest and the cars, the whatever.
Mhm.
And he was looking at the house and said, look, uh, what's the whole point of this? This is really what I want. That's what, and he was confronting, like he was feeling even uncomfortable in that house, right? Because maybe it was the stereotype, well, when you're successful, buy a big house with the mountain and everything, but was not really what he wants. Long story short, he made a couple of bad decisions in the business, went to zero, ended up in the coach of a mom, and today he live in a yacht. Today he live in a yacht, huge, and he run his businesses from that yacht, and he travels around Europe. And when he gets bored of that yacht, then he parked the yacht, and then he rent a caravan, huge one,
Oh, wow.
and then he keep moving around and on the move and driving, and that's what makes him happy. And if he didn't have this space in that condition, that is what makes him fulfill. He won't be able to operate. He discovered himself that the only way that he can operate successfully is he need to be fulfill himself. And a huge mansion
Mm-hmm.
with the mountain in New Zealand, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's what everybody wants, but it doesn't have fulfillment. So then
Mm-hmm.
again, he self sabotage and went to zero. And when he went to zero, he said, okay, I have nothing now. I'm going to start again. Number one, what I want, how I want to live my life, what I really want, what will make me happy. And then he built the business again. And
Yes,
so,
that's what I was going to say. The focus should be, the attention should be on what we desire, what we want, not what we don't want. Because the more like energy goes where attention flows, right? So
mhm.
basically, the more you are hyper focused on the lack instead of like what you already have in your life or what you could have, then the more you're going to attract that, because your mindset is a vibrational match to the energy of scarcity, lack, and poverty consciousness. And so it's the law of attraction. I'm sure you've heard of, the secret in the law of
Absolutely. Oh,
attraction.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and surrounding yourselves by others who have a positive mindset, an abundance mindset, especially if you didn't grow up with that. I didn't grow up with healthy, positive messages around money. I grew up with the opposite. So every story, every word out of my mother's mouth was basically like, life is hard, money doesn't grow on trees, it's a dog eat dog world, like there's, so much competition out there, you shouldn't care about anyone else, just care about yourself. And like really horrible messages about the meaning of life. So I think the meaning of life is going to be different for everyone, but I think mostly it's about envisioning and using our imagination and creatively visualizing the life that you deserve, the life that you are ready to receive. But many people have a block right, about receiving, because there's an unworthiness program. So that's why you have people, I always suggest working with either a healer like me, I'm also a coach and a counselor, or a therapist, or just like someone very neutral who is a really good listener, who really likes, is a good person who's going to just point out where you're missing something, where you keep
When
attracting
you
what
have
you
the
don't want instead of what you want.
yeah, the blind spot. Uh, yeah,
Everyone
it's an
has blind
amazing, yeah, it's
spots.
an amazing journey. I think that in this process of self-discovery also burnt out. You touch about this point. It's the same thing at the beginning of the company. You start in a year, and when you're a solo
Mhm.
entrepreneur, you work, and then you see you're not thinking, "Can I go for a walk? Can I go for a swim?" Because you're thinking yourself that no, how can I do this? I need to make this business. Where I remember my early days of entrepreneur,
Mhm.
starting my first business, I had this time efficiency thing that I was so busy wearing all the hats that I will wake up, okay,
Mhm.
and I start to work non stop, okay, and not eating, not drinking any water, just made very little water and work, and then when it was 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. I will call a couple of restaurants that were then. I live in London in Canary Wharf. One was an Indian, the other one was Chinese. I always said I'm Harry, and they the menu has numbers. Okay, so they will sending me the next number. So I didn't even have time or energy to say what food I wanna eat. So
Wow.
imagine
Wow.
what that had done for my health, right? Running it was
Yes.
very time efficient for for the business, but how mentally, and you eating bad and very late at night, um,
Yeah,
is
I
is
understand.
is
Yeah.
horrible. And then of course you wake up tired, and again you have all these many things to do, and you have to put this off. And then I remember in the office when when you arrive, well, Harry, we're 12 hours, 14 hours, you're like a hero, right? Today somebody come and say, Harry, let's do a business, but the first month with you have to work 12 hours per day. I said, Lord, hold on a minute. Hold on, when is my time for swimming?
Yeah.
When I'm gonna walk? When I'm gonna look after myself?
Hmm.
I don't wanna be in a business that that is in detriment to my mental health and to my personal health, because at the end of the day then you cannot
Hmm.
perform, and in business if you want to be successful you have to perform. So Vandana, when do you realize that these things work is no, it doesn't work for me, and I had to switch off? It's very hard to take this decision because I've been there, but I know now
Yes.
because experience that you have, even after this podcast, we finish the podcast today, I'm gonna play tennis, right? And I
Yes,
have a
that's
lot of things
great.
to do. I have a lot of things to do. My task list is
Yes.
so huge that if I show it to you, you will cry. You will be depressed with how many things I have to do. Still, I know that I had to go and play tennis. I need to go know that I had to go for a walk. I need to know
Yes.
that I had
Yes.
to eat healthy. I need to know that I had to cook my own salad as much as possible. Not
Yes.
even buy it,
Hmm.
cut it, and I need time for that. And I need time also to go and buy the healthy product, which is
Yes.
something that I love and take me a lot of time to find, um, organic food.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you have to go far. You need to source the product. It's not easy to find sometimes, and
Yeah.
the all that takes time. Okay, and but at the end of the day, all we have an impact in your mindset, in your performance, in your well-being. So when do you realize that okay, I'm an entrepreneur, but this thing is not working? I'm work, and I'm close to burnout. And if I don't do something different, it's gonna give me a heart attack.
Yes.
I mean, you know
I
that
hear
better than
you.
anybody because emotional
Yes.
negative pain, emotional pain can become physical pain. People can end up with heart attack.
Absolutely. Yeah. It always starts on an emotional level or a spiritual level, like the root core, the root cause of pain always starts that way, like some type of imbalance, some type of a trauma, some type of a loss that you keep like attracting. Not that you're intentionally doing it, but it's in your field, right? So that it just feels natural and familiar. Your brain understands that this is familiar. I'm used to loss, or I'm used to stress, or I'm used to suffering and struggling, right? So it just feels like it becomes a habit, unfortunately. And what I wanted to say is that my motto, and I always love this, is to work smarter, not harder. Because if you look at millionaires or billionaires that have sustained, they've kept the millions, they haven't lost it, like successfully, they're all enjoying their lives, right? They're not stressed out at all. They're always like happy-go-lucky, or at least it seems that way. But they take really good care of their bodies, their health, their well-being. They go to the gym, they go to the spa, they travel, they're having fun, they're living their best life. And that could be a model for us. So for me, I started realizing when I left my last business partner. And I got really screwed over by my last business partner. Basically, my website got hacked because he wasn't paying attention and he
Wow.
didn't have the antivirus programs installed. He wasn't really watching, and he was managing. It's also my responsibility too. So I take like blame for that, as I mean, I didn't do it, but I gave my power away, which is a very important spiritual lesson that I will never do again. I became very codependent because I was raised by codependent parents, right? And so I learned like this, I need to restart. Like I got locked out of my own website. So I couldn't see clients, I couldn't teach classes. And then luckily I met a person who was my virtual assistant. And she said, we're going to find a way around this, because I didn't know about the technical stuff, and I still probably don't,
But
but
you don't
I've
have to
gotten
know
better at
anything.
it.
Yeah. We just
Yeah,
have
but
to
it saves you a
learn.
lot of money if you can be empowered and teach yourself these things, because,
100%.
assistants come and go. So, yeah, I think that's when I realized, like, I have to take my power back, and I need to also like stop being chained to my computer, because it was very stressful and it was very scary, because I always depended on this business partner to do the marketing, to send out newsletters, to do everything for me, even though I would write them and I would create the content, and also I would channel my, the light beings that we work with. So I would create courses and programs and trainings. So I did a lot of that, but I didn't do the marketing part. So I think that's when I realized, like, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown if I continue this way. Um, and then I realized I put it to the test. And I took a weekend trip. I went upstate with a friend, and I was like, I can't handle this anymore. This is too stressful. I remember we were like getting a coffee, or we were in like we're some clothing store. We were going shopping, and I was really having fun. I was like away from all the stress, away from my laptop. I wasn't even checking in with it. I just
Hmm.
took a break, right? Turned off all my cell phones and everything. And then I realized when I did turn on my cell phone that I just got like a $5,000 sale, and I was so happy, and I didn't do anything. Like, it just was passive income. That never really happened before. I was able to lift my vibration out of that heaviness, right? And that
And then you
density.
attract the sale, yeah. And all of a
Yes.
sudden, when you change your, yeah, it's
And I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't have to work hard to make that happen. It just happened naturally, because I was feeling better about myself, right? I was treating myself well. I was putting my needs as like my number one healing priority, instead of everyone else before me.
yeah. When you are in this state of mind, you become unstoppable, like this podcast, and
Yes.
that's what the name of this podcast. But in order to do that, to be in this positive state of mind, you have to um, put yourself in that environment. For example, for me, works very well. Change the environment. Every time we travel, you see, sometimes we are stuck in ideas and we don't have progress in certain part of the business that we want to move
Hmm.
forward, and we are stuck. We can be stuck for 3 months, for 6 months, and then you take a trip. You take a
That's
trip,
exactly what I have
and
plans this
and
this month.
all of a sudden, everything that is not moving,
Everything
that is
changes.
stuck. You get the idea. You said, you know what, this is not working. I'm gonna move on. You come up with a better idea in that trip. So,
Yes.
and also do things that you really like that make you happy. Um, because
Yes.
you cannot be depressed if you are in in a positive state, and relationship play the big part of this, and
Yes.
being always happy, being the people that you surround yourself. For example, this one, I'm spend most of my time. I mean, over here in this podcast, we interview over 500 millionaires, so I'm spending my time, most of my time, speaking in Zoom with millionaires, people like you, with an amazing vibe, amazing stories,
Thank you.
amazing
Thank you.
uh, path that they have been going through, because nobody understands also us as an entrepreneur that we receive more pressure than
Yes,
anybody
that's
out
true.
there, because we, oh, if you go out there, I hear people that have the job. Well, I'm working very hard in my job. I say, well,
Mm.
if you make a mistake, you're gonna get paid anyway. Whether us, if we make a mistake,
Right. You have a
it comes
steady
from our own
paycheck.
money. It comes from our own
Right.
pocket. So it's not the same. So
It's yeah.
we
Yeah.
are responsible for people. It's not about our money. We had to
That's true.
got salaries ready for the team. Some people from our team,
Mm-hmm.
they're the only one that works in the family. So imagine you don't pay the team. How they gonna bring food for the
Yes.
family? So it becomes
Right.
you are exposed to more pressure. Okay, and
Yes.
you have to perform more, and so our psychology, right? Only us can work with us. Only entrepreneurs understand entrepreneurs and can it's a
Right.
different space, and we are very rare. We only 1 or 2% of the whole population, by the way. So there is not too many of
Mm-hmm.
us also around the globe. So the whole point
Right.
is that we have to go to a path that is very lonely, and
It is. It can be
and
very
you have
isolating.
and even that you say, well, you have my mom and an entrepreneur, yeah, but uh, that at the end of the day, when you start to be in business, guess what happened? Most of your friends are employees, and at the moment you go to see those friends and say, look, um, I am doing this business, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. So you will
Mm.
realize I need new friends, and how you gonna find this new
Mm-hmm.
friend?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have a problem, again, you need to talk with another entrepreneur, because you talk with someone that is another entrepreneur. Um,
They won't understand. It's a totally
they don't
different
understand the level of
reality
pressure
that
that you
we,
have. They
well,
will
we're
tell you,
like
well,
living
I'm
on the
busy at work, I
edge.
have pressure at work, it's the same thing. What is not the same? Seems like it's
It's
same, but
not right. It's not because our minds are never turning off. We are always coming
there
up
you
with these
go.
like ideas. For me, I'm getting these downloads in the middle of the night, like, ah, this is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to teach this workshop. This is what people need. This is how I can really reach out and help a lot of more people, right? I'm going to do it this way. And it's like, it's not like 9 to 5, where after 5 o'clock, you're just out and you're
Yeah,
just
it doesn't
free,
really work like
right?
this.
Like, you're still working even like, at midnight sometimes. Or if you get a brilliant idea, something like that inspires you, maybe even in the middle of the night, you're writing them down so you don't forget. So it's very different. You're absolutely right. And that's
Something
why
that
we
yeah.
especially have to take care of ourselves better
Yeah,
so
something
that
that
we
I
don't
did.
burn
Yeah,
out.
something that I did amazing in my early when I started my business property. Mine, we have 177 tenants, and all the team and so on, and everybody want to speak with me. And I'm thinking, these people are gonna kill me. when, when I gonna
Aw.
sleep? When I gonna sleep? They don't care
Mm,
because 177 tenants, they all want to speak with me because it was a property business. So of course, if you want to bring a friend, if you want to bring your mom, you want to leave the romantic. Of course, they knew that there was someone that called Harry. That was the only person that can authorize that. So they want to speak with Harry with nobody else, and it doesn't matter if it's at 4 a.m. They will wake up at 4 a.m. to talk to me. And
wow.
I'm thinking, there are too many. When I'm gonna sleep, I will
Yeah.
spend the whole. So one of the decisions I took there is I said, look, I put my phone since there in mute. So in the last 18 years, my phone has been in silent. Yeah, and so if you want to talk to me, you can write me a message, and then we fill in my calendar. And when I in the allocated time, we can talk as much as you want. But
Hmm.
and people, and there are few people that I still. My own brother, yeah, which is an IT expert. He take my phone so many times to see how he can change something. At least that when he called me, the thing rings. And
Wow.
I take the phone
Interesting.
and say,
Yeah.
why you don't take on my phone calls? He said, because I don't take phone calls of anybody.
Right.
I don't when we wanna talk, you message me, and so the WhatsApp, you have the calendar, and then we talk. Oh, if, even myself, I want to talk with my brother. I don't call him. I'm texting. Can I call you? What is the best time to call you? I said now. Okay, fine. I'll call you then. Right? And that did a
Yes.
lot for my mental health and for my productivity, and had been an amazing thing. The other thing that we did successfully is declare Mondays off. Yeah, because Mondays are so
Yes.
stressed out. Everybody's so stressed out. So I decided that
Mm-hmm.
was a good idea to have Monday off, and it's amazing because if you don't work on Mondays, if you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to a restaurant, it's empty. If you want to go to the places, they are all empty. It's amazing to be off. The street is empty. You can walk in London everywhere you want, and it's so peaceful on
Mm-hmm.
Mondays to have a rest that was also a brilliant idea that that
That's great.
that we took, right? So but you need to start to auto heal yourself and to start to design your life in your own way. So what step have you took, Vandana as an entrepreneur, in order to things that was not working before, what
Mm-hmm.
have you changed and
Yes.
that they are working now? Can you share with us?
Absolutely. Yes. I've had to have a very serious conversation with my VA, um, and let him know, because we're in different time zones, he's in a different country, that I cannot function mentally, cognitively at night. He's a night person, so he'll stay up till 2 in the morning, but even like after dinner, after 6 or 7, I'm like on my computer from 6 or 7 a.m., that this doesn't work for me. So finally he got the message. And finally I said, look, boundaries, you need to turn in the tasks. They need to be completed on time, because every time that they're late, I'm going to deduct some money from your paycheck. And as soon as I told him that completely changed. And now everything is on time. Everything is sent before 5 p.m. So it's about stating what we need, saying what we need, and meaning what we say,
Otherwise, you
right?
don't
To take care
rest.
of
You
ourselves.
don't rest.
Right.
Otherwise, you
Exactly.
don't
Yep.
rest. We have a lot of people working abroad, right? From our team. And again, there's
Mm-hmm.
so many, right? So we had to distribute the whole workforce in a way that they show up when we can, in the time that we
Yeah.
we can, right? So there are
Yes. And I
some
make
of
my
them.
own
I had to
hours.
say
So,
yeah, we have some of them that they are already been working for years with us, that they don't need
mhm.
supervision. They've been working for years with us, and those ones that can work in their own time, because when we assign tasks to them, they already know how to do it. They've been working with us for years, and there are
Yeah.
technical things that we don't need to check. But there are other people, like for example, the people that were processing this podcast and so on. That
Mhm.
is, we have to check that they spell the names correctly, that they did this, that they did that. So And for
Yes.
that, we have to be awake. And we have to be able to check
Mm-hmm.
this in a time that we are that we
Mm-hmm.
are productive, to make sure that there is no that everything goes okay. And it's
Yeah,
challenging. It's challenging, but with the team,
it
if you enroll
is.
them and then I think explain them, right? Because it happened to us. We've been employing people from so many years, for more than
Mm-hmm.
19 years. So imagine
Mm-hmm.
from abroad to work with us in different things.
That's a
Um,
long time.
oh yes, yes. So we have a PhD about working with them. You see, and I have been, look, I said,
Mm-hmm.
been there, having sometimes like, guys, this doesn't work for me. I get it. That works amazingly for you, but it doesn't work for me because if you don't show up at the time
Mm-hmm.
that I can, then I don't rest. I don't
That's it.
rest. I don't. I'm only one. You are a lot, and if all of you show up at the time that is good for you, and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
Yeah.
at the same time, I had to say that things have changed in the employability, and as entrepreneurs, we have to, if we want to keep the talent, we need to offer certain flexibility to our team. This is
Mm-hmm.
an ongoing on conversation that I have with them, that I try to give them as flexibility to compromise. Okay, task that doesn't need to be checked. Okay, you guys do it in your own time because they're very good. They're very talented people, and as an entrepreneur, we need the talent with us, right? So,
Yes, exactly.
but at the same time, when we have to compromise with us also to see, well, uh, tasks that need to be checked, that need my input. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what if let's work together a time that is good for you, but and also good for me, because otherwise this doesn't work.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I did. But it took a long time for them to listen, for him to listen, because even though, that's another challenge of an entrepreneur when you have people working for you, whether it's one or 100, it doesn't always work the first time. You have to keep like putting out your
It's a
needs,
different
and,
culture, different
it's
culture,
different,
different culture,
it's different
different.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
dealing with different culture is different as well. The it's
A
a
different mindset.
yeah.
Yeah, different style of working. He's very laid back. He works very slow. And me, I like to have everything done like right away,
Yeah.
especially like if I get an inspired idea, like I want to get that out to my subscribers. And he's like, yes, but I need a few days. I'm like, why? Just do it now. So, it's not easy to find the right assistant also
Take
to
time.
to help
Take
you
take time, and then
where
and also you
you're
have to train them.
compatible.
Take time, take a lot of
Exactly.
patience. You have to train them as
Yes.
well.
I've done that
They
so
learn.
many times. Oh,
Hmm.
yes. I know exactly what you mean.
So yeah, but at the end of the day, the whole point, and this is also bringing people for your organization. I think that from the employees, the team that we have from abroad, right, what we have discovered is, you see, there are people that the culture that they have as team members is not the same of our culture as
Right.
we have as company. And those
Yep.
ones that stay longer, we realize that they want to stay in this company because they personal culture match the culture of our company. I told them, look, guys, why you don't go and work for somebody else? They even can pay you more money. And they have been telling me, Harry, we're happy with the money that you're paying us, and we are happy to work with you, right? And don't
Oh.
worry about it. But the thing is that they have been working with us for years, okay? And I like companies with not so many employees, and I want to multitask. I multitask as an entrepreneur. I need everybody around me to be
Mm-hmm.
multitask. So in the last 18 years, I never hear
Mm-hmm.
anybody from my team tell me, Harry, this is not my job. It doesn't really work in my company. Even this podcast,
Exactly.
even this podcast, I call my team and say, look, I want to do a podcast. And tell me, Harry, what's that? I said, I don't know. So we don't know either. So, well, what we're going to do is they tell me, okay, give us 3 weeks, and let's see what happened. Give us 3 weeks because we don't have nothing about this. And after 3 weeks, they came back. They told me, Harry, look, don't touch anything. Just record
Mhm.
the thing, put it in Dropbox in this file, and that's it. You don't. It will go to your social media. It will go to here. It will broadcast. It's gonna do amazing
Oh,
things,
nice.
and
That's
I don't
really
even know.
nice.
It will go to all your social media. I don't even know how they're doing it yet. Yeah, but
Uh-huh.
they knew that when they come back to me, they need to come with something simple. Don't give me so much technical things to
Exactly.
me. So because they've been working so many years with me, and definitely they don't tell me, Harry, this is not my job, or this is not. So all of them, they went out, they did the research, and they produce
Yes.
this beautiful bit of background, all this. They're very proactive. Yeah, we've been working with us for years and we train them in this way, which is much our company, our culture, right?
Mhm.
I have ideas
Yes.
every day, so I need someone that, tomorrow is a new idea
Yes.
that have the positive. Okay, let's try this idea, Harry. So we have
Yeah.
ideas every month. So they had to
Yeah,
be
me too.
with that. And some of them
Yeah.
love this dynamic. They love it because something different all of the time and they love it.
Hmm.
Some people that have come to organization are this type of employee. This is not my job. This is my job only. I rest. Don't get me out of
Mm.
this.
They're
And
not
well,
flexible.
they're not
Yeah,
flexible. For a
that's not
big
going to work.
company, for a big corporation, maybe they're amazing there. But for the type of thing that we run here, so I think this is what is going with the team members and the employee. Nobody's bad. Nobody's good. It's about cultural alignment, and it takes time to find the team member that match your culture,
And that
your.
can take a long time. It could take years to find the
Oh
right
yeah,
people,
yeah.
and I've experienced that as well. So yeah, wearing a lot of hats, that's what we do as
And that
entrepreneurs.
also
But
bring you
also,
pressure as well. Bring you pressure as well in your mindset. When the teams is not performing
right.
and something is you thinking, oh, I'm working so much, and even sometimes they get paid and I don't
Mm-hmm.
get paid, and still and on top of that they show up
Mm-hmm.
late and everything. So a lot of conversation going to your
Mm-hmm.
head, and how you overcome
Yeah.
that. How you overcome that.
I think how you overcome that is treating when you treat yourself better, then
There you
your
go.
employees will treat you better.
Uh huh. Exactly. At the moment that you start
Yeah. When you
to.
respect yourself, then your employees will respect you as well.
And if you're in positive state of mind, they
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
have a conversation, right? Because at the end of the day, Vandana, what happened to us, we have a policy in my company that we always try everybody that we bring in the organization, we do our best to keep it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because if somebody make a mistake or whatever and brought it to organization, so anybody that is in now responsible. And but the time has proven that it doesn't matter what I do. If the people that if the employee doesn't match our culture,
Mm-hmm.
they it's not gonna work, and
Yeah.
they had to go. And the sooner they go, the
Right.
better.
I
Uh,
was just going to say
the
the sooner the better because then you're not wasting time and you're not wasting their time
I'll try to
either.
yeah, I try to save so many that came to our thing, and yeah, they've
Yeah.
been 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but at the end of the day, it it
Yeah.
it doesn't really work. They check out themselves, because they cannot
Mm-hmm.
cope with the dynamic anymore. They on the first place, but those on the stays, oh, those on that stays, they
They
will
grow with you.
sweat and
Right.
tears for you. They will, if I tell them I
Yes.
need something to my team, even if it's Sunday, whatever, they say, okay, Harry,
They'll do
tell
it.
us
Yes.
what is it. And
That's
when it's
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it take years, right, and bring the right
Yep. It
people,
was
yeah,
worth the wait.
and look after them and care after them also. It's not about, hey, do this
Yeah.
job, you have to do this. There are people. You have to honestly care
Yeah.
for them. If you really care, that is also
Hmm.
they will. You got the back, they're gonna have your back. Yeah. So tell us,
Exactly.
Vandana, if somebody's in love with this conversation, want to learn more about you, want
Yes.
uh, to start this journey to self-discover the mindset, and the limiting belief
Yes.
and the
Yes.
and all that is external to the business, but actually have a huge direct impact in business. This I know for a fact because it happened to me and it happened for so many people that have been in this podcast. It literally happened to every entrepreneur. There are external factors in your mindset, in your
Yes.
in your unconscious mind that had to do with your childhood, that had
Absolutely.
to do with the thing that it will
Hmm.
show up in your business, and it will tell you, it will make wrong decisions in your business that have nothing to do with the business. It has to do with something
Exactly.
had to be healed within, and but
Right.
if you're not aware, how you gonna how you gonna work on that? I was not aware. I didn't even. I knew there was something wrong with me after the whole
Mm.
collapse of the restaurant. I think this this is this is crazy. There is something I need to work on something. I
If
don't
it
know if I
keeps
need
happening
it's
over and
psychology. I
over
need something, but
again,
it doesn't make sense. What I do that to
yeah,
myself. So I knew
right,
that.
right.
So tell us how people can
It's
find you, how this process work.
absolutely. Well, first of all, this is not logical, it's emotional,
There you
right?
go.
So, how I help people is to clear or unlock the emotional blocks
Mhm.
that are preventing them from experiencing abundance, success, and ease, more ease in their working life. So, my website is Vandana, V like victory, Andana, vandanalightshealing.com. This is my website. I have a library with over 300 meditations, and spiritual journeys of transformation. And I help people get to the core, the root of where this all began and how they can actually change their lives for the better. So there's a library. I record everything. So whenever you work with me and you join me live on Zoom, you'll also receive a free replay, and you'll receive the slideshow and all the energy processes that you can do yourself to empower yourself at home. So, and also I have YouTube, my YouTube channel, LinkedIn,
Tell us,
Instagram.
tell us what's the
Everything
name
is
because there are
Vandana
people
Light
listening.
Healing.
There are people listening.
Vandana
They
Light
can.
Healing for everything.
Ah, wow,
Yes.
very good. Yeah, I
So
think
it's
you're
easy
brilliant.
to remember.
I think you're brilliant. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. I think you have a very amazing
Thank
energy.
you.
You have very
Thank
good energy. I
you.
can tell that you're working a lot with yourself. I can tell that you're happy. Still the challenges
Yes.
of business and the team abroad. This is something that we can get better and better. And yes, sometimes things happen with the
Yes.
website. Even myself, I get take people in mind. One day I was doing conference in Singapore, and
Uh-huh.
all our website got hacked. All of them. And we have like 40. Can you imagine? All the website down
Wow.
for this, it got hacked, and how this happened, when it happened. So now we had to deal. So long story short, we had to rebuild
I've
all
had
the
to
websites
rebuild
again,
so many
all the
times in
websites again,
my
and
career.
again it happened again, and it happened again. It happened like
Oh,
twice. Yeah, 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 yeah. So we had to. It happened. So
hmm.
we had to until continue happening. We need to change. Long story short, we had to start to do the websites with different web platforms, right? We
Yes.
couldn't do it in WordPress anymore because we're getting hacked again and again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we had to get clever and put more layers of security what we were doing because
Mm.
sometimes our courses
Mm-hmm.
have high tickets. So when the high ticket courses, people want to get them for free, so they try to hack to
Oh,
get the information, and so
that's
we had to be very
crazy.
clever in order to avoid that. So every time that we put a website, we have a problem, a huge attack coming, and yeah, again, you have to
Wow.
learn and work with the right people,
You live
and
and
it's
learn,
yeah,
right? And
exactly,
it's important that for us that we have a very good support system in place because we
yeah,
can't do everything ourselves,
yeah,
right?
we
We
have
know
to
the
learn
outcome. Yes.
100%. So
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much,
much.
Harry.
Keep growing,
Okay.
keep helping people,
Thank
keep working on
you.
yourself, and you're gonna be fine. Pleased to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye
You
bye.
too. Nice to meet you, Harry.
You too. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.